Hey, I'm Butterfly.
Hey, I'm Firefly.
Have you ever wondered if we aren't being told the truth about everything?
What have we been lied to about? Join us as we have conversations and ask questions about everything. We invite you to keep an open mind and consider the unfathomable.
Let's break the chains that enslave our minds. Come on, let's go down the rabbit hole.
What's up, Butterfly?
Hey, Firefly, what's up?
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Well, we're getting to do another episode.
Isn't that exciting?
I know. I'm stoked.
We love it.
So we're uh we're rocking and rolling in season 2 here.
I know.
We've got a couple episodes in the can.
Yeah.
And we have another rabbit hole that we've decided to go down. And this one is um, kind of like 1984,
It is totally, totally.
you know?
Yeah, I mean, we refer to that book a lot, and I always say people should reread it because it's just so like timely. I mean, it seems like what's happening now. Um, but and we do refer to this problem a lot too, but I don't think we've ever dedicated entire episodes to how they're erasing history. That's
Yeah.
what's really happening. They are we can see them doing it in front of our very
They're
eyes.
curating the content.
Right.
They're like, okay, kind of like what did Winston do? Remember, he worked in the Ministry of Truth, which is
Yes.
his little Orwellian title, but it's
Right.
like actually the Ministry of Lies.
Yeah.
And his job was to go back and kind of curate the news and the
Yes.
history books
Yes.
to make sure that it's aligned with the agenda of the party.
Yeah. Well, he was told to do this, and like one of my favorite lines out of the whole book is they were rewriting history day by day, minute by minute.
Yeah.
So that is like what they were doing was actually taking things out of like what happened in the newspaper yesterday
Yep.
and changing the story and putting out a new story today.
Yeah.
So when I recently reread that a few years ago, I was like, wow, that is what they're doing today because we've talked about a lot of current and events in the news and things that have happened over the last few years. We talked about the guy that was part of that those lives matter thing, the guy that
Yeah.
died of a fentanyl overdose.
Yeah. The guy who
his
put a gun to his pregnant girlfriend's stomach, that was such a good
it,
guy that we had to memorialize him.
I know his last name rhymes with Boyd.
Void.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
Like avoid him.
avoid him. Yeah. But like when I saw that whole story and what they were actually, I saw like the video of like a longer length of what happened,
Yeah.
and then I saw the version that they were telling on the
The
news.
fraud that it
It
was.
was so different, and I began to see that they are rewriting history day by day, minute by minute. They're constantly changing, and I've started noticing also how they've changed like history books in school
Yeah.
and now what you can see is they they are removing statues in different places. They removed one in
Yeah.
our town
Yeah.
because it was racist or something.
That's right.
So that's removing history too. You're taking that part of history out and they're taking it down to like the smallest details like so I guess what kind of triggered this episode was this whole Cracker Barrel debacle that's happening now. People are all up in arms about them changing the logo of Cracker Barrel. And it made me start to think about how they changed the logo on Land O'Lakes butter. They
Yeah.
got rid of the Indian girl, the Aunt Jemima pancake mix and syrup.
I have a conspiracy theory
They
about
got
that.
rid of that. The like I think famous Amos chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
All of these things they
I have a
got rid of.
conspiracy theory about why they do that. What they do is that's not offensive to anybody.
No.
But what they do is they make a big deal about changing the name to try to plant the seed like you should be offended by this.
Yeah.
And this is antiquated.
Well, it's all like this racial thing that they try to, get everybody.
Flower and Pippin.
Yeah, they try to get everybody against each other and they create racism where there is no racism. You know
That's
what I
it.
mean? And what's so ironic is so they took the Indian girl off the butter, they took the black lady off the syrup, they took the black guy off I think he was on like a rice or something. Um,
Oh yeah.
they're taking all those quote unquote minorities off of these things because they say it's racist, but actually what they're doing is they're erasing them. So
Yep.
instead of like us seeing the faces of those people on there,
Yeah.
they're taking them away and getting rid of them out of visibility and out of
Yep.
history. So like kids growing up now, they'll never know like Aunt Jemima or the Land O'Lakes girl. They won't know it.
And
And
what do you think is going on there? What are they trying to hide? I don't think they want us to know how awesome things were before.
I think you're right. And I think when they talk about that they're getting rid of these things because it's racist, I think what they're actually trying to do is erase those groups of people
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good point
and
too.
erase the importance of them
Yeah.
for what they were on these packages. Like so what's wrong with Aunt Jemima making pancakes? I
It's
mean, what's wrong with
antiquated depiction. That's what they want to do is they want to obliterate the values of 1950s America.
exactly. Exactly.
So that's the agenda.
Because there's nothing bad about those images.
No. And as a matter of fact, if you look back at African American plight back before the cult took over in 1963, that country from 1948 when they
Hmm.
killed JFK, if you look at the plight of African Americans prior to that, their marriages were better. They were economically
Hmm.
better off.
Right.
They had, if you listen to like now they're older men, but they were young men that grew up back in the 30s and the 40s and they're African Americans. They are reminiscent about that time. They're nostalgic for that time. That was a
Hmm.
better time for African
Hmm.
Americans. They don't want you to know that. They want you to be like, have you ever heard? I think it was Chuck Schumer. You know Chuck Schumer?
Oh yeah, he's
He's
so
like,
gross.
I'm in the, yeah, I'm in the cult, and then the culture club. I'm in the culture club, and then I have dual citizenship. So I'm a
Ugh,
citizen here, but I'm also a
why?
citizen in that country from 1948.
And why are these people all dual
Yeah,
citizens
I'm a
and they're
dual
running our
citizen.
country?
So then they asked him, this was a while ago, but it was so lame. And he goes, America was never that great. That's the whole message.
That's what they're trying to teach.
America was never that great. And they always want to like, asterisk,
Asterisk.
asterisk. They want to asterisk America is awesome. They always want to say, but yeah, but look, they did this. And it's all about destroying the beautiful American past
Mm-hmm.
because America was the greatest country that ever existed.
Mm-hmm.
And they were envious of it and hated it coming out of World War II. And that's why Patton said, we killed the wrong guys. That's what he said.
Mm.
I thought he said we should have killed Hitler and Stalin. No, he said we should have left Hitler. He was fine. We needed to go get Stalin.
Yeah.
That's what Patton said.
Wow.
So why would he say that? Because those people are evil.
Right.
The Bolsheviks that have taken over, that's kind of who's taken over the world now.
Yeah.
It started in Russia, and then they just kind of went, by the way, we kind of wormed our way into America and we kind of took over
Yeah.
through like weird kind of underhanded corrupt means.
Totally.
And they don't want you, they hated 1950s America.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about these psychopaths that prosperity and middle class just drives them insane.
Yeah, they can't have like the regular people like succeeding or
No,
owning things or
think
things
about
like
how good Ozzy and Harriet had
that.
it.
I know.
They don't want
They
that.
don't want that.
No, they want Ozzy and Harriet in a 15-man city. And Ozzy is taking a bunch of like pharmaceutical drugs. That's what they want.
So
But
I think when we were talking about this, you brought up a really good point though, which is so when with all of this history being erased and we see it happening before our very eyes and stories being changed, what is the future generation going to know and going to learn and who's going to teach it to them?
yeah,
Because so I start thinking about this and I start thinking, well, what did we learn? Like what we learned, is that even true? And like, did you know they changed Columbus Day? They changed the name of that.
Indigenous Peoples
Indigenous
Day.
Peoples Day. So they're trying to erase the idea that Columbus, pretty soon the kids won't even like, I guess, be taught that Columbus discovered America. But did he even really discover America? I mean, maybe that was a fairy tale that we were taught. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's what you and I have.
I
You
mean,
and I have come to a conclusion, which so my epiphany that I had earlier when we started talking about this episodes was I was like, who do kids these days look up to? Who do they have? Their parents are walkers,
yeah,
the teachers are walkers, the corporations are walkers,
yeah,
and the media is Satan going, yeah, good, 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 good. Come on. I've got a bunch of lies to give you and a bunch of brainwashing, and I'm going to corral you for your whole life. So that's who like young people have. And I was thinking, you bring up a good point though. You and I, what do we have? We had TV, movies. They were awesome, in my opinion, awesomer than
yeah.
what they have these days.
Encyclopedias.
We had encyclopedias. We had maybe some connection to the real
Some of it
past.
may have been true,
Ooh,
you know?
what if there was a remnant of connection to the real past in our youth?
I know.
But now they're trying to get rid of all of it.
Well, they are. And so it's funny, my mom still has a set of encyclopedias from like the 60s. And I told her, don't ever get rid of those, because I actually want to go look through them because that was kind of like the internet back in the day. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
did you ever see that during the cooties where the guy goes to his encyclopedia that he had from when he was a little kid from like the 1950s and he looks up coronavirus and it says
Yeah.
cold,
Yeah.
the common cold.
Yeah. Totally.
And they're like, what? And they're like, well, no, 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 no. Those were, that was
Yeah.
like,
This is a whole new thing.
this is a souped up one that we paid for. So, but it's like, we might have actually had some remnant of truth, and they're trying to see. I don't, that's why we talked about truth might be illegal very
Hmm.
soon
I think so.
because I don't think they want anyone to know truth.
No.
They want you to be completely drunk on Kool-Aid
Right.
and in a bubble,
And
and your bubble is airtight.
and believing the stories that they tell you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. America's bad. Get into your 15-minute city and let us take care of you.
Yeah.
Those lies of prosperity and upward mobility and what do they call it? Self-determination. They
Right.
don't like self-determination.
Ambition. You don't need any of that. Just take your universal basic income for the short time span that you're going to be alive because it won't be very long since we don't want to keep paying you
I
for
was
doing
thinking
nothing.
about that. Yeah, because you're doing nothing. Because like, remember I was talking about that one Bad Religion song, and it said, "You don't have to think to survive." Because if you live in a 15-minute city, you don't have to think to
No.
survive, especially if you get a chip where you can pay for all your Whole Foods items without even, you don't have to think anymore.
And they're trying to make it like they're kind of destroying people's will to want to do better or to be ambitious too. Like,
Why would you bother?
yeah, why would you bother? I mean, you're taxed so much on the money you make. The more you make, the more you pay in taxes. You've got taxes on gas, your car registration. You have to pay property taxes if you own a home. So it's basically like you're paying rent to the government for owning property. It's almost like you don't own it.
Yeah.
And they're making it to the point where they're kind of training the younger generation to not even want to they don't even strive to want to do these things. So
Home
they
ownership and family is not what they want you thinking.
no, they want you to just be like, yeah, I'll take my universal basic income. And like the cars are getting more and more boring looking because I think
Like,
they're trying to push the idea that you're not going to drive anymore either.
yeah.
It's going to be tough to get people to
Like,
give up
remember
that.
Younger?
Yeah,
Remember
that TV show.
that Netflix show? I watched some of it. I gotta watch all of it so we can do our spin-off on it.
Right.
But what I do remember about Younger is everybody was all about their career.
Mm-hmm.
And owning a home and having a family wasn't part of any of their radar screens.
No,
They had no 1950s America in them. It had been bred out of all of the cast in Younger.
exactly.
The cast in Younger, the cast in Younger is about my career,
Hmm.
my
Me.
material stuff. my materialism,
Mm-hmm.
and my sex life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about love. It's
No.
about sex.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah.
she's got the dude, the bartender. He's a young guy, and it's not about love
And he loves her, and then she meets the other guy that loves her, but she kind of screws up both relationships because
because the
she'd
career
rather have
is
the career.
first,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's what I think.
I think they're pushing that
Even love is
idea.
okay. They're kind of still like, well, love's okay, but don't have kids and
Yeah.
don't be trying to settle
And
down.
don't be like so in love that you actually want to be in like a committed relationship.
No, 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 no.
That's not good.
No, you guys can be in love for as long as it lasts, and then you move on to someone else.
Right.
And I think it's also with the statues and everything, the deconstruction of Christianity too.
Totally.
Because Christianity is like a value system
Mm-hmm.
that the culture club,
Mm-hmm.
they don't like.
They don't like that.
No,
No.
they don't want you to have values. Younger, there's no Christian
No,
values.
there's not.
These people are, they're immoral,
Bottomless
bottomless pits.
pits.
That's what they are. And I think that's what kids are being taught to become.
They are.
And they might have pause if they learned about history
Yeah.
because
They
they
might
might
actually be
see,
like, wow, that was nice. That looked
well,
kind of
like
nice.
what pops into my head is what happens if you go kind of unpack what happened in the Roman Empire? Like,
Right.
if you have any kind of brain, you've probably gone and checked out history, and the Romans were gnarly.
Mm-hmm.
They ruled the entire known world, and they were advanced with their aqueducts and their
Mm-hmm.
roads and their military might. And there was nothing that stopped them except Romans. Romans stopped Romans.
Right.
I mean,
They destroyed
obviously, the
themselves.
Visigoths eventually sacked him, but that was allowed because they were laying around eating so much that they were making themselves puke and having orgies.
Yeah. Just
So
pure debauchery.
it is pure debauchery. So
Bottomless pits.
they became an immoral,
Immoral
bottomless
bottom.
pits.
Yeah.
So anybody who studies history might kind of glean a lesson from that
Mm-hmm.
and say, you know what? A society has to have morality
Mm-hmm.
and it has to have a shared
That is
morality.
such an interesting and good point because we've talked about like the downfall of societies before. And remember, we talked about that uh, episode from Mysterious Universe, Decivilization. We
Yes,
talked about that and how, um, yeah,
de-civilization.
we were talking about how every civilization kind of lasts about 250 years and
Yeah,
we're kind of like nearing the end of that
yeah.
time frame and it does seem like that's what's happening like we're our civilization is just full of debauchery now, like a lot of immoral bottomless pits.
Younger's a good example.
Yeah, and
Younger's a good
they're
example where
pushing
the
that
people
idea.
aren't really bad people,
No,
but you can tell that they don't have true north
no.
in their heart. They don't have the moral true north.
And
Their lives are kind of just like materialistic, consumptive, empty, purposeless
yeah.
lives.
And it's fun to watch some shows like that because like,
Yeah.
the fashion, the city, the
I'm
excitement
not
of
trying, I know you like that show. I'm
I
not trying to hate on that show.
no, no, but I mean, but the point that we're trying to make is that um I think the problem is that they're trying to push these ideas onto a generation to make them accept this as normal and welcome it into their life.
Well, that's because I have a conspiracy theory about that.
Okay.
So that country from 1948 took over in 1963,
Yeah.
and they want to destroy Western civilization. Why? Why do they want to destroy Western civilization? Because Western civilization has an ethos of self determination, a Bill of Rights, human
Ambition.
dignity, upward mobility.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a feudal slave living on with a feudal lord. You can go work hard and make something of yourself and make more money than the elites have. They don't want that.
No.
They don't want that. So they have this whole idea of we need to destroy Western civilization.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what the first thing you need to do is create immoral bottomless pits because what you find is it's a slippery slope. Immorality is a slippery slope.
It is.
It starts off with uh, sexual immorality, and then you're kind of doing child sacrifice pretty soon. You ever notice?
Right.
It's like it kind of quickly falls off.
Yeah.
And then that's usually the end of civilizations, is when like the Mayans, they're like, you know,
Yeah, right.
sacrificing people and kids and stuff. It's like then
Yeah.
they just disappear. I think the kind of common predicate I'm noticing is a civilization kind of you know how like this is Kool-Aid probably, but
Mhm.
you know the idea of like a black hole and it collapses in on itself.
Right.
Civilizations, I think, kind of do that. I think
Yeah.
they collapse in on themselves, and
Uh-huh.
it's like an implosion, and it's predicated on immorality.
Totally.
So they don't want you learning about history because we have a moral history,
Mm.
especially in Western civilization. We have this Christian ethos that was the foundation of the Renaissance.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what it comes down to. They hate the Renaissance.
And we mentioned this, I think, in one of the most recent episodes, about how in the 60s, when it was like they had this whole thing about free love, and there were hippies and everything, and we thought that those were the rebels and they were the ones going against the man, but actually, you made the point that it was the man that was marketing this whole lifestyle to them and kind of got us on
Well,
that 50-year path to
Well, this is where
debauchery.
some people kind of get a little weirded out by me, but I think it's Satan. So Satan has the plan, and Satan uses his minions.
Mhm,
Now, Satan has different plans in the 60s that he has now.
mhm.
Back in the 60s, they had to deconstruct 1950s America. So the way that he did it, because he's very intelligent, he's eternal, and he understands how to destroy civilizations. If people acquiesce, that beautiful word that you said, if people acquiesce, then Satan can use people.
Mhm.
And what he ends up doing is he'll um, have these messages for the 1960s, and then he'll use the same Neil Young to deliver
The
he'll
new
the
message
new message,
for
and the new
2025.
message is don't say bad things about cooties.
Yeah, totally.
So that's the thing, and they are see if you see somebody who has joined the culture club, like Sean Penn.
Oh God.
You know Sean Penn's in
He's
the
like,
culture club.
yeah, he's like trying to serve Kool-Aid.
So Sean Penn, do you think he's going to trip out on contradicting himself?
No. They
No,
contradict themselves all the time.
that's right.
Yeah.
And
And they're right.
they're
They
right.
were right that time and now they're right again this next
I'm
time.
right both times, even
Yeah.
though I'm contradicting. So just deal with that. And what I notice is the people who are used by Satan are the people who will do anything for money and power.
Right.
And unfortunately, we have a lot of that.
Yeah.
I mean, we have people who will do anything for money and power.
Totally.
They'll be E. Jean Carroll and just
Hmm.
do their little role.
Yeah.
They'll come out.
And those people think that they're, lining themselves up with this group that is going to like be so good for them, but they're the first ones to run them under the bus.
That's right.
You know?
That's what we've talked about. And I think we've talked about that kind of in the context of all of the cockroach infestation. I mean, illegal immigration. Um, the illegal immigrants, I have nothing against them personally, but unless they need to be aware that they're allowing themselves to be used by Satan and it doesn't work out good. You're allowing yourself to be used in a way that's going to only backfire on you.
When you are, going along with something that is, whether you want to say Satan or just evil and bad, it's not going to work out.
No.
It's not gonna
You're
it's not
thinking,
gonna help
it's
you.
kind of like going and getting your nipple pierced on the way to get tacos. You're not thinking it through. You're thinking short term.
She probably got that caught on her bikini at the beach the next time.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It seems like some problems could arise from
Yeah.
having a hole in your nipple. I don't know. But you're not thinking that through. You'll cross that bridge when you get to it.
Right.
Like maybe you go in the ocean, it's like, oh my God, I don't know.
Or like maybe one day she's gonna breastfeed a child and it's like squirting
He
off.
can't get it in his mouth. I'm swearing like she has to get like a special plug for the other hole. But yeah, like they don't think it through. They just go, I'm going to get money and power.
Mhm.
Think about back in the 80s, we talked about this, like how important fame was.
Exactly.
Like if you went up to one of these people, like the first person that pops in my head who I'm sure sold their soul was Anthony Kiedis.
Who?
Anthony Kiedis,
Who's that?
the guy from the Chili Peppers, the lead singer.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't know his name.
Okay.
I was never really into the Chili Peppers.
He pops into my mind because I'm
Okay.
sure he's a cult member, but you can
Oh,
take
for
any
sure.
cult member.
Yeah.
Um,
Just pick any band.
pick any
Pick
band.
any
If
band.
there's someone you've
Pick
heard of.
any A-list actor.
So what happened with them is they probably started making music and they were doing honest stuff, and then Satan came and sat down with them in a room
Oh
and
yeah.
said, "Do you guys want to be big and famous?" And they went, "Sure, sure, sure. Okay, good, good, good. Just sign right here."
Sign your yeah, sign
And
away
they
your
just went, "No problem."
sell your soul.
That's all. So what I think's going on now is so many people have done that Satan was able to implement his plans back in the 60s and all through the 70s, all through the 80s, we became more degenerate.
Mhm.
Now, the degenerate, like if you go back to the 80s almost seems like a wholesome time now.
I know. And at the time, it seemed like that was like
Satanic.
satanic.
And it
People
kind
were
of
doing
was.
coke and sleeping
A
around and
lot of debauchery and a
mhm.
lot of like, even if you look at Motley Crue's like first album has a pentagram on it.
Oh yeah.
And people are like, that's just whatever. No, it's not just whatever.
Yeah.
Those guys worship Satan, sold their soul. And we're just like, yeah, let's go to the concert.
Yeah.
Remember, they used to do this.
Yeah.
They
The
used to do
devil
the
horns
devil
sign with their
horns.
hands. Yeah.
Some people are like, dude, it's just rock and roll. No, I don't think it was.
No.
I think what it
They
was,
were normalizing all of that evil stuff.
yeah, those guys were like Motley Crue, did Satan's bidding. Satan went good, 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 good,
You know
good.
what? When we have conversations like that, like this, and we talk about, the wholesome 50s and everything like that, do you think people hear us and think like that we are just prudes and we're like some fuddy-duddy old-fashioned people?
Yeah,
Do you think I think a lot of I think our listeners probably are in agreement and think, wow, we need times like that,
the
you know?
people who are tapping
But
into our message are.
yeah, but I think like to some people hearing a message like this might like make them think like, oh, we're just square, we're prudes, we're whatever. But actually that's not the case.
We're rebels.
We're rebels.
We're
We're the
rebelling
rebels.
against the
Yeah.
media. The media is turning you into Joe Rogan.
We want our not just our country, but our world to be a better place like it
Yeah.
once was, you know?
Without morality, the world becomes Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Right. People don't have any moral compass
I
anymore.
just watched Tombstone the other day
Mhm.
with what was it, Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever watch that?
Yeah,
And the
long
story,
time ago.
it's such a good movie. And the story is in this little town in Arizona, and I was tripping out. Think about they lived in that little town in Arizona with no air conditioning back then. Think about how gnarly that was, sitting
Yeah.
in some saloon.
Yeah,
I mean, it must have been so hot
I
because
know.
I can't take Arizona. I've been down there.
It's hot.
Without AC, I'm like, no, thank you.
It's hot.
But anyways, so these cowboys become like the first mafia, the first mob
Oh.
in the United States.
Mhm.
And so they'll just go into town, like 100 of them,
And
and
just
just
take over.
take over, kill whoever gets in their way, take the money, take the women, take all the booze, do whatever. And so people have two choices. Just don't say anything, don't ruffle any feathers, and maybe they won't kill you,
Yeah.
or become Wyatt Earp. And what does Wyatt Earp do? He says, we're going to have law and order in this town. And he has the gun to the one dude's head, and the guy says, we got him outnumbered. Let's jump him. And he goes, not before I make a canoe of your head. Get it? And that, when he said that, the guy told his other guys to back off. And that was the beginning of the end. And he ridded the country of the cowboys.
See, this is what you have to do when you're confronted by a bully. You
Yes.
have to stand up to them
Yeah.
and they'll go away. And
Yes.
it's like what we saw with our government. You have to stand up to tyranny or it takes over.
Yeah.
If you stand up to it, they can't there's more of us.
And I just had an epiphany, 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 ding, 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 ding.
What?
What if the media is grooming people into becoming little Howard Sterny
That's
cowards.
what they want. They want little micromaniac is
Megalo,
mega
it's mini megalomaniac
psychopath
psychopath micromanagers.
micromanagers.
That's what they want. And in order to become a mini
Mini
megalomaniac
megalomaniac
psychopath
psychopath
micromanager,
micromanager.
you have to have no backbone.
Right.
Because what you're doing is saying, I don't care about what's right and wrong. I'm
Yeah.
just aligning myself. I just want my daily stipend.
I just want to take my break.
Yeah. Like I just you'll give me a Krispy Kreme if I go get my pokey.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
that's fine.
The whatever. Just give me my Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
That's kind of how they think. And they are the ones who will get ruled over by a mob. You have to have a backbone and you have to be willing to die for what's right.
Hmm.
And we're not kind of getting that spirit. And maybe if people studied, like, especially if young kids today studied about our forefathers,
Right.
like George Washington, and how gnarly was it to do what they did? They were going to be killed by the British if the British won.
If that whole story is even true.
Who knows?
I mean,
Who knows?
I think, there's truth in
Okay,
all of it.
maybe that's not true, but you
But
know what? There's an acorn of character
yeah,
um,
yeah.
example
And
in
they
there.
yeah, they
They're an
wrote
example.
yeah, and they wrote those documents that sort of kept our country in line like and gave us rights.
And that's right. And that's why Chuck Schumer's going, America was never that great. That's why I got dual citizenship in Israel. Because he
Well,
is
then
part
why
of,
doesn't he just go live in Israel then if
dude,
it's better?
I won't miss him.
Yeah.
But this is the thing.
Why
I
have
think
dual citizenship?
the
Why
culture
not go to
club,
the better place then?
the culture club doesn't want you admiring the Bill of Rights
No.
and the Constitution and the
And
Declaration of Independence.
they only keep like the citizenship here, I think, so they can rule over us.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Because what we've talked about is the Culture Club wants to um, corral everyone on Earth into 15-minute cities and exterminate everybody. They want to get it down to like 500 million, which means probably they want to get it down to like 500. They're not a lot of people here.
500 people.
500 people. They're not looking to have like large swaths of the
That would
population.
be enough to serve them.
So they want everybody dead.
50,000.
Yeah. So they want everybody dead. They're not, America gets in the way of that.
Hmm.
Because what America suggests is, well, first of all, you can't surveil that person. That's a violation of their Fourth Amendment. You have to have probable cause. And you can't just compel somebody to take a medical treatment or use a medical device. So you can't make me wear a mask or get a pokey. That's against my constitution because it says right there. And the list goes on and on. You can't take away my right to bear arms. And you can't take away my free speech. I get to say what I want. And
They're sure trying.
it's not free-ish.
No.
It's not so Elon, no. It's not free-ish.
I mean,
It's free speech.
we might actually have to start like going to the town square and like standing on a box and having these conversations
I think people
if
need to
things
kind of,
keep going the way
yeah.
they're going.
Well, it seems like we've kind of talked about this. I think people are kind of just going, tyranny's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. I have nothing to
I want
hide.
to go get Starbucks.
I'm going to Starbucks. And then I'm watching Netflix. We're going to watch Younger tonight. You want to come over? No, I don't want to go watch Younger with you. I would, but you're drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't like being around drunk people when I'm not drunk. So I think that's what's going on. I think the culture club, the culture club, they are trying to erase history
Hmm.
because people might cling to the ethos of Western civilization.
Totally.
And that gets in the way of their global extermination
Right.
plan.
You know what the other problem is with when you don't erase history? People might actually learn from it,
Totally.
you know? And who said those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it?
I don't know who, but that's a
It was like
perfect.
Was it Benjamin
Probably
Franklin?
Benjamin Franklin. He said a lot of great
Yeah, it
stuff.
was one of those guys. We should probably know that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But anyway,
No, that's a great point.
but that I think is a big reason for it also because when you don't remember these horrible things that happened and these things that they did to us, then you're less likely to try to change like what could be happening or try to do anything about it when you don't even remember it. They want everybody to be in a perpetual Groundhog Day syndrome state of Doriness
You become Dory.
and forget everything that happened. And people have the attention spans of gnats. It's like I think that's part of the whole, you know, how there's breaking news every day. It's like
Mhm.
some crisis is happening all the time because when there's always some new crisis happening like every day, it's easier to just forget about what happened yesterday, you know, because now
That's how
you're moving on to the next thing.
that's how the MK Ultra worked with Kathy O'Brien.
Yeah,
Remember, they torture and rape, and then you compartmentalize the trauma.
right.
So if you keep traumatizing the subject, they're going to keep compartmentalizing it, and then they stay Dory
Yeah.
because that's a oh wow epiphany again. The way that you get out of becoming Dory, how do you break somebody out of Dory? Where okay, so what's Dory? I only know the 5 seconds that I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about anything else.
And I don't remember five
They're
minutes ago.
they're traumatized into that
Hmm.
state, and the only way they're going to get out of it is healing
Hmm.
and looking inside and working through the trauma. And they just go, no, 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 don't get agitated. Take some soma.
Hmm.
And so now Dory. So that's right.
So that's what they did during the whole cooties fiasco. Remember, they
Yeah.
had like the ticker tape at the bottom of the news screen, like
Yeah.
all these dead people, and it was like constantly some worse thing happened the next day, you know. And now I think a lot of people are forgetting that, or you know, they believed a lot of it anyway. But I hear like now they're talking about the plague is coming back. Have you heard that? They're saying the plague is coming. Like, oh, but you should go get your kids the cooties poke. Like, is that going to help with the plague? But, you know, now it's this whole thing that
It's
they're,
fear porn.
yeah,
Everything. I'm starting to think, and not starting to think, I've been thinking this for a while now. Any news story is Kool-Aid.
yeah,
That if you watch InfoWars, if you watch Fox News, if you watch CNN, MSNBC, or even like, whoa, Newsmax is good. No. Oh, OAN. No. Everything is completely controlled by the Culture Club.
hmm,
The Culture Club only gives you information that they want to give you for a reason.
exactly.
They want you afraid because then you're suggestive. So you watch The Plague is Coming, you read that article, now you're afraid. Now, guess what? The next ad is Ozempic
Yeah, or cooties shots.
or cootie shots.
Yeah, and that might
But
help with the plague.
yeah, and or
Yeah.
well, they'll also say Ozempic, or they'll, or they'll because we've talked about corralling you into their healthcare system is one of the control mechanisms.
Hmm.
So they can get you controlled because what they don't want you to do is push back against them slamming shut the tyranny doors.
Right.
They don't want you to do that. And they don't want you knowing about history because you might go, wait a second, this is different. I want that. I want to have self determination. I want to have freedom. And another thing I was thinking, because you brought up, was yeah, you and I have been lied to our whole lives.
Hmm.
And we had to come to that conclusion in our adulthood.
Yeah. And it's kind of gnarly and scary.
Yeah, to
And
come to the conclusion that you've been lied to, you can't rest in anything that you've
no,
been told.
that's why I, you know, have that thought is that you don't really know if any of it was true.
No,
I mean, I'm sure there are truths to all of it, but not all of it is true, you
no, they
know.
say the history is written by the victors, right?
Hmm.
And who have been the victors over the last 150 years?
Yeah,
The Culture Club.
all of the evils.
Yeah. So they probably lied to us about World War II,
Mhm.
Vietnam, Korea. We have no idea.
Yeah,
I mean, look at all the things we've been lied to about JFK shooting. How about the Vegas shooting?
yeah.
You know,
And the
Sandy Hook. I heard somebody talking
yeah,
about Sandy Hook.
how about Epstein? I mean,
Epstein.
it's like the truth never comes out about these
No.
things.
Did he?
And then it just gets pushed under the rug and people forget about it because they move on to, you know, the attention span of gnats. They move on to the next thing. And,
And the
you
thing
know,
is the fear. if you let fear rule you, I think it becomes something where it's like a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Now you've gotten in the habit of being ruled by your fears. So you become kind of a coward that acquiesces. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's kind of how it works.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a coward that acquiesces, then you become a triple M to the P.
Totally.
And that's how it works. And so now they're erasing history because, like, they don't want you to see if somebody had a statue built for them, they probably lived an incredible life and they're probably being memorialized for some heroic thing that they've done.
Right.
And maybe they don't want heroes.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want heroes.
They want to be the heroes.
Yeah.
Because if we have heroes that we look up to that did maybe some great things,
Yeah.
then we know that great things were done by people, and we might see these culture club people, who are tyrants, and realize that that's not what we want. So they want
Yeah.
to get rid of the heroes.
And I like your idea. They want us to have their heroes. Here are their heroes, like superheroes, like in Captain America.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Captain America obviously is like, dude, it's a fictional character. You don't have a big shield, bro, and you can't fly. Okay, you're a human. So have human heroes
Yeah,
that did human things.
right.
No, 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 no.
No.
You LARP that you're on the Enterprise, the SS Enterprise or whatever. So it's interesting. I think this was a good rabbit hole because I think that's more of the conditioning. Erasing history is conditioning because they can really start to make you Dory now.
Totally.
They can convince you that America's bad, Western civilization's bad. And then what? So if you come to that conclusion, what are you going to do? You're going to go, oh, well, let's just go with the new civilization.
Yeah,
And
let's
then,
just go move into the 15-minute city.
yeah,
It's fine.
that must be the way to go,
Mhm.
you know? Well, that was good.
That was really good.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we covered most of
That
it.
was pretty good.
Yeah,
That was cool.
I
It
know.
went to some cool places that I didn't think it was going to go. Okay.
Talk to you later.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.